tourism strategy hails as the dawning of a new era at official launch in Glasgow. First Minister Thinlips took to the stage to endorse the strategy, which is the vision of Scotland becoming the world leader in 21st century tourism. A world leader vision, bold. These words that these people cluster all over this bollocks to try and give off this illusion that this is them using their own initiative. They come up with these ideas organically. You know, let's not take anything away from the fact that they're doing exactly what the UN want them to do. That all of the BS that's encompassed within sustainable development, sustainability, climate, non-existent man-made climate change, I should say. The whole shebang. What does sustainability mean? Sustainability means culling the population. Sustainable development means population control. But yet they stand there and they grandstand and they talk about bold visionary prospects and all the rest of it. It's just bollocks. We're going to have no money when we're deindustrialised. So this is some half-hearted attempt to try and funnel money in elsewhere. That's part of it. I'm not going to bore everybody watching with the details in full of what this so-called Scotland Tourism 2030 agenda is going to encompass, but I will highlight a few things that I do find rather questionable. So, first and foremost, their video. What a shit show this is, man.
Change is coming. No, change is already here. You can see it in our politics, our economy, technology, and the climate. Change. The secret is to view it as an opportunity, not a problem. An opportunity to think about what we do and how we can do it better. Tourism needs to change. We need to think about the impact we have on the environment. We need to think about the impact we have on infrastructure, communities, businesses, people.
What do you think mass migration, or the level of impact mass migration would bring to Scotland? These people contradict themselves so often. Carbon footprint needs to be decreased, but we want to open the borders. We're not having enough children. We need to open the borders. Nothing to incentivise the native birth, no. These people don't care about Scotland. This is a scam.
In Scotland, we're good at thinking. Our thinking, point of fact, has changed the world more than once. So let's think.
They love to refer to our history when it suits their narrative, but they're quick to shit all over our history for the best of times. The white man bad routine. All anybody needs to do is look at the curriculum that the feminist cancer that control our country are pumping into the academia, the curriculum. The white man bad routine, whiteness, white supremacy, white privilege. Scotland apparently is just the whole period of time that Scotland has existed. Scotland has been the pinnacle of everything wrong in this world, but when it suits them, they will latch on to the things that we should be proud of as a nation. And these bastards got the audacity to pretend they're nationalists.
Seriously about tourism in Scotland and for Scotland. Let's think about shifting from attracting volume to delivering greater value for our nation and for our local communities. Let's think about the people who live and work in our country, who work in your businesses. Today is when that thinking turns to action, when change happens, a new era, a new approach. One that's brave, outward-looking, forward-thinking, responsive, collaborative, and with people at its heart. An approach that will enrich the lives of those who live here and those who visit. That will preserve our places for future generations by delivering responsible tourism. For we want everyone in Scotland to experience the benefits of tourism now and for many years to come. That's not just what we think we need to do, it's what we must do together. And by working together, Scotland will succeed. By putting our communities, our people, our visitors, our businesses and our environment at the heart of everything we do, we will make the most of change and make Scotland the world leader in 21st century tourism.
For a sustainable future. Yeah. Scotland's 2030, or Outlook 2030, sorry, is a bold new approach. Bold. Bold. The definition of bold. Brave, fearless, adventurous, bold. In the common interest of Scotland's communities, businesses and everyone who visits and stays with us, it recognises that the role of tourism has changed as a result of our non-existent man-made climate crisis, advances in technology, EU exit, changes in consumer behaviour, which is reflected in the demands of today's traveller. Just because you've declared there is a climate crisis doesn't mean there is a climate crisis. These people are creating policies and so on and so forth based on a climate crisis that they have declared without the proof. Tourism is no longer just about tourists, it's about people. Well, that makes fucking sense. Success means more than numbers, it's about enrichment, of course. About prosperity for residents and our visitors. You people, man. This is our vision of 21st century tourism. Agenda 21, 21st century. Tourism can bring wealth of economic, social and cultural benefits to our community. Oh, you'd know all about cultural enrichment, wouldn't you, Sturgeon? It touches every part of our community. It's a powerful force. What is this? Scotland Outlook 2030 has been informed by robust evidence base gathered from all partners. This is including significant desk research. Sorry. I'm sorry. From many sources. You've captured the learning from the past and uncovered the future opportunities and challenges. The strategy responds to the evidence in a new way that will maximise the opportunities that we have in our sites in the short, medium and long term. Sorry. From 2020, Scotland will move on its path to being the world leader. We are bold in our vision, evolutionary in our approach, right? We will focus on 4 key priorities to realise our ambition. Our passionate people, our thriving places, our diverse businesses, our memorable experiences. We will work as one, our government, industry, private and public sector and our communities to deliver our 21st century Agenda 21 century vision through a set of measurable commitments. Our picture of a success is one where communities embrace visitors and stories of our destinations and world famous assets are brought to life by Scotland's people. Embrace visitors. Bear that in mind. Summary. Future success will only be achieved through partnership, strong leadership and acknowledgement of the 6 conditions where we have identified as being vital for success. Digital policy, having the right policy and regulatory landscape in place, investment, ensuring we have access to investment, connectivity, business network, positioning, successful positioning of Scotland in its tourism industry. This is an outlook to build a 21st century tourism industry for all. Yada yada. So, as I said, I won't bore people with the ins and outs of what this all included. I'll just get to the bits that I find rather questionable. It's about inclusion. Of course it is. Scotland will be the world leader in 21st century tourism. We are already known and recognised globally for our joined-up approach in delivering our tourism strategy and have become a case study for how businesses, communities and governments around the world should collaborate. Pull the other one. We look for better ways of doing things, and as a nation we are of course already world leaders in innovation. It's in our blood and our DNA. It's in our nature of how we respond to opportunities and challenges. How can it be in our blood and our DNA if we're just simply a political community? Anyhow, we have the strength of spirit that will enable us to lead the way. 21st century tourism is about collective ambition, working together across all sectors and destinations with a strong shared vision. This stuff is so gay. 21st century tourism is about being brave, outward-looking, forward-thinking and responsible and putting our communities, people, visitors, businesses and the environment at the heart of everything we do. Our vision of 21st century tourism is about making Scotland, our world, a better place for everyone. Oh yeah. Sorry. Our passionate people. We will attract, develop and retain a skilled, committed, diverse and valued workforce. So it's interesting, if you remember a few weeks ago, we had Benny, migrant bootlicker McPherson, talking about 40,000 jobs. There's a 40,000 job shortage in the tourism sector. And now as this publication and all the news surrounding it is coming out and saying that once this so-called legislation and so on regarding this is put forth and implemented, then they will need 40,000 more. So yet again we have the Scottish Government, or a spokesperson for the Scottish Government, proclaiming that there's a job shortage now in order to justify having devolved immigration powers, when the reality of the matter is there isn't a shortage just now. There will potentially be a shortage come their implementation. So it's not a case of standing there and whining and crying about a shortage right now when there isn't one. However, Our industry will become more attractive as a result. People will see the sector as offering viable career opportunities that will allow new generations to make the best of their skills and talents. 21st century Scottish tourism will be seen as a force for good by everyone in Scotland. People of all ages and backgrounds. They always have to add this in here. What does that mean? Why do you have to include that? Will inspire to work and build a career in the sector and will be welcomed, valued, supported and treated fairly by their employers, because they're not currently, you see. Our passionate people. This is a set of commitments that will deliver against this priority. The context. Our commitment. We will ensure that Scotland has sufficient people to create an outstanding workforce ready to meet the requirements of Agenda 21. Scotland's tourism sector workforce supply is under pressure and will continue to be put under further pressure when we've finished implementing this shite, including demographic change and the impact of increased migration regulations, because God forbid we tried to incentivise our own people to have children. Why would we need to do that when there's a world full of global citizens to attract? Which further exacerbate existing skill shortages. Again, what are you doing about it? Nothing. You're relying on migrants. Major changes are required in order to change perceptions of working in tourism and reach new sources of potential employees and entrepreneurs in order to ensure that the sector can thrive. We will support and enable the adoption of fair work practices in Scotland's tourism sector. By 2025, Scotland aims to become a leading fair work nation, where fair work drives success, well-being and prosperity. Scotland's tourism sector will be a better place to recruit and retain employees who feel valued for the contribution they make. We will continue to encourage career development by improving opportunities for career mobility. Training and education in tourism must be highly responsive to changes in demand for skills in the tourism sector. By showing clear paths for career development and training that allows people to advance in their careers, Scotland's tourism businesses can be more innovative and successful in the long term. We will actively champion diversity, of course you will, across the tourism sector so that it reflects a modern Scotland. Now, Scotland currently has seen a tiny fraction of all the immigrants that have entered the UK year on year for God knows how long. The demographic change that England has been seeing for so long now, we have been relatively sheltered from. So, whenever you see policies being put forth by other countries that have experienced similar demographic changes to the likes of England, you could argue that those policies are to pander and to benefit the diversity. But in Scotland's case, what you are seeing is them putting things in place just the same as the other countries. But it's not for the people currently here. It's for the people they intend to get here. Our modern Scotland was 96% white in 2011. So what really are they talking about? By welcoming people from all backgrounds and ensuring the right conditions for them to thrive from all backgrounds. Scotland's tourism sector can become more competitive, innovative and truly reflective of Scotland's population, because it's currently not, you see. It's too white. Scotland is special to the people who live, work and study here, and to our visitors who come to meet the locals and share in our wonderful places and experiences. Sustainable future. The fuck, man. There's several references to a potential shortage of jobs in this sector come the end of their hypothetical implementation. So the suggestion is obviously to attract people to fill those jobs when the time comes. But when you combine that with some of the rather questionable things that they claim they wish to commit themselves to, such as encouraging and enabling visitors to explore more of Scotland throughout the year, helping visitors to explore more of Scotland if we give them the tools to do so, user-friendly transport, so on and so forth. This will require improved collaboration between Scotland's destinations as well as enhanced planning and coordination. And then it goes on to say, we will ensure Scotland is an inclusive and accessible destination, enabling all visitors to travel widely and enjoy the full range of the country's visitor experiences. Being a leader in Agenda 21's tourism means ensuring barrier-free travel throughout the country, with the information and infrastructure available to help all visitors to enjoy what we have to offer. Could be something and nothing, and for that reason I won't focus too much on it. However, Scotland's tourism sector will make a full contribution to our national ambition to become a net zero society by 2045, ensuring that tourism leads to improved community well-being and nurtures thriving places across Scotland. Ensuring the value of tourism to Scotland's economy continues to increase and deliver shared prosperity for all by encouraging the right growth in the right areas. We We will ensure that Scotland has sufficient people to create an outstanding workforce ready to meet the requirements of Agenda 21. We will support and enable the adoption of fair work practices in Scotland's tourism sector, continue to encourage career development, yada yada. We will support tourism business in Scotland to become a more entrepreneurial, agile and resilient, establish measures to help Scottish tourism businesses commit to sustainable practices, ensuring places across Scotland can develop and manage tourism effectively and responsibly, actively engage local communities as valued stakeholders in tourism development and delivery, enable the whole of Scotland and more sectors of the economy to benefit from tourism demand by taking a strategic approach to developing the right products in the right places, nurturing Scotland's tourism assets to deliver high quality, memorable experiences that benefit visitors in the places they visit, encouraging and enabling visitors to explore more of Scotland throughout the year, ensuring Scotland is an inclusive and accessible destination. We will use the best quality data and insights available at national, regional and local level to support planning, prioritisation and monitoring. We will ensure measures to help Scottish tourism businesses commit to sustainable practices. We will build new alliances in order to achieve the vision of becoming the world leader in Agenda 21 tourism. We will commit our strategy approach to Scotland's tourism sector and other stakeholders in order to encourage engagement and support around the strategy. I suggest that the key word going forward is change. Change in technology, change in skill sets, change in decision making, drivers to value-based rather than just value-based, change in how we look at and protect our natural assets, change in our approach to a more sustainable future in terms of carbon emissions, waste reduction and ethical investments. Our next steps. We will have short-term, medium-term and long-term implementation tasks. Relevant key performance indicators will be agreed. Alright. It then goes on to say, if I could get this to do, 21st century tourism is our response to the existential threats of our time, tackling the climate and nature emergencies, addressing our over-tourism, promoting well-being and supporting remote, rural and island communities and economies. It is tourism ready for the world. Greta Thunberg and David Attenborough imagine.